Can I show you a scary video? No, because this video is actually terrifying, and I'm not really seeing a lot of people talking about it. This video was uploaded by The Darkest Secret on YouTube. It was uploaded in May 7th, 2021. I'm gonna show you the video, but I'm gonna ask you to pay close attention because it is really easy to miss. So basically, this kid is riding on a roller coaster, and something or someone keeps appearing in the very back of the roller coaster. Pay attention to the back cart. Here's the video.
Son 5 o 6 vueltas. Abajo no, abajo, en la parte de abajo. ¿Y no te caes? Es una pista.
Something is always following you. You're never truly alone. At least that's what many Muslims believe. This is the idea of the qareen in Islam, essentially your spirit twin. It's this entity often described as a jinn or a jinn-like creature that was bound to you at birth and will remain by you until your last breath. In fact, the very name qareen translates to companion. There are multiple interpretations of the qareen. Some see it as an evil entity, whispering things into your ear that incite you to sin. Others see it as a reflection of one's own nature, so if you're a good person, then your qareen isn't too bad. In this hadith, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ states that his own qareen, his jinn companion, had turned good. Come watch my YouTube videos here.
You good?
Like 10 minutes this went on. And I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, you're looking at your cat.
No, somebody just walked through my kitchen and Bobby freaked out. Did you see him run?
I saw him, yeah.
He's still sitting there looking at it. And his like tail is
Yeah, I saw his tail.
Is the person still there? Bobby, you okay? I don't know. It still like feels really weird in here, but I only saw it like for a second. That's also the same direction that when you said that there were. Oh my god, it's Brendan. He's outside now. Thank god. Brendan? No, he's not. Hey, stop, Amanda. No, it's not. No, he's not. There is literally.
Wait, how's your door just open?
No one's out there.
I found some sort of hive in my attic. The exterminators wouldn't go near it. This all started about a week ago, when my wife sent me up to the attic to look for a box of old photos. As I was searching, my flashlight beam passed over something in the corner of the space. A dark mass, about as thick as a small tree trunk, with tendrils reaching out onto the floor and ceiling. My first thought was that it must be some kind of crazy black mold growth. I took a few steps towards it to get a better look, and that's when I first saw movement. I remember, when I was a kid, finding a giant ant mound in the woods behind my school. This was like that, the shifting of a million little creatures packed closely together. Disgusted, I quickly backed away and left the attic. I told my wife we had some sort of insect infestation and resolved to call pest control later that evening. The next day, 2 exterminators arrived, and I tried explaining to them what I'd seen. They shared a skeptical glance as I was describing the size of the mess but told me I could be dealing with a large beehive or perhaps termites. I showed them to the attic door, which was the hatch kind, with a drop-down ladder. They didn't ask me to go up with them, which I found to be a relief because I didn't want to look at the thing again. Just thinking about it made my skin crawl. I stood at the base of the ladder for about 10 minutes, until finally, they came back down. I don't think I've ever seen an expression like the one the lead exterminator was wearing. He was white as a sheet, his eyes wide. "Will you be able to take care of it?" I asked. He had a thick South American accent. English clearly wasn't his first language. "This is not for us," he said simply. "What exactly am I dealing with?" He didn't answer, just shook his head. I saw his coworker make the sign of the cross. I was starting to get a bit annoyed. I asked, "Well, do you have any recommendations?" He looked me dead in the eyes. "Move." The two of them left quickly after that. I was stunned, but my surprise soon turned to anger. These guys were supposed to be professionals, weren't they? I decided I'd hire a different exterminator company. In the meantime, just to be safe, I checked my family into a hotel. Blaine's Pest Control advertised themselves as the ultimate vermin annihilator, so I gave them a call and arranged a time for them to swing by our property. The day came and went, and I didn't get a call back from them. I decided I needed to go to the house. When I arrived, a white van was parked in my driveway, with a green logo on the side that read, Blaine's Pest Control. I knocked on the front door of the house, before letting myself in with my key. "Hello," I called, as I stepped inside. No response. I moved to the second story. The door to the attic was on the ceiling in the upstairs hallway, and I saw that it was open, the ladder fully extended. I decided to check it out. I climbed the ladder, and when I reached the top, I took out my phone and turned on the flashlight app. There was no sign of anyone else there. Once again, I saw the mask positioned in the corner, thick and black and squirmy. This time, curiosity got the best of me, and I decided I needed to have a closer look at it. I forced myself to move in, holding the light out as far in front of me as possible. When I first saw the creatures up close, I thought they were spiders. That is, until I took a couple more steps forward. I realized they looked more like tiny starfish, only with 4 tendril-like legs instead of 5. They were jet black, with uniformly smooth bodies, each about the size of a quarter. They scurried over each other at a frantic pace. I stared at them with horrified fascination. They were like Then, suddenly, I heard a pop. Looking down, I found one of the creatures clinging to my shirt. I slapped it off immediately. Taking a step back, I pointed my phone light back onto the mass. I saw that the swarm had slowed its movement. Some of them had even stopped. Then I saw one jump. There was this toy that kids used to have when I was in school, a small half sphere made of rubber. You'd press it down against a hard surface, and when you released, it would spring up into the air. The creature moved like that, flinging itself upward with an audible pop. Another one followed, then another. Before I could move, dozens of them were flying toward me, landing on my chest, arms, face. I threw myself backwards, dropping my phone as I frantically slapped them away. I lost my footing and fell on my ass. Pop, 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 pop. I heard them go. I scurried backwards, blindly swatting at my skin. In my panic, I fell backwards through the attic trapdoor, missing the ladder entirely and landing hard on my tailbone. In the light of the hallway, I could see the creatures more clearly, and was able to brush them all away. I watched as they scurried off in different directions, disappearing under doors and into crevices. Just when I thought I was clean, I felt an intense stinging sensation on my neck, like someone pressing a power drill into my skin. I grabbed at the spot, and pulled away one of the creatures, flinging it down the hallway. I got to my feet shakily, quickly raising the ladder and slamming the attic door. I, nor anyone else, will be going up there ever again, I told myself. I was heading for the staircase when something out of the corner of my eye caught my attention. The door to my son's room was slightly ajar, and I thought I saw a dark shape through the crack. Cautiously, I pushed the door open and looked inside. As I'd feared, I saw another one of the hives. Like the one in the attic, it was positioned near the corner of the room. However, this one was smaller and looked different. It had a central, cylindrical trunk, with a pair of tendrils reaching out at the floor, and another pair higher up, against the wall. As well, there was an ovular bulb at the top. It was oddly human-shaped, I thought. Through the shifting of the starfish creatures, I stayed at a distance this time so I couldn't make them out individually. I could see white canvas beneath a swarm of black. I caught sight of a green logo, which looked suspiciously like that of Blaine's Pest Control. Needless to say, I got the hell out of that house. Only 2 days later, it mysteriously burned to the ground. The police told us they couldn't rule out arson. If it was, I'm sure whoever was responsible was just trying to do the right thing. Hopefully, they were smart enough to buy their materials out of town, to pay all in cash, and to avoid any traffic cameras on their way to and from the scene of the crime. Hopefully, they didn't wake their wife as they crawled into bed that night, and hopefully she didn't pick up the faint smell of gasoline lingering on their skin the next morning. Hopefully. Then that's that, right? The only thing is, I've had this itching sensation in my neck. There's a welt there now too, about the size of a ping pong ball. I'm going to go to the doctor tomorrow to have it checked out. Wish me luck.